See, just had a good session at the studio. The day is looking nice. Man, nothing can go wrong right now. Everything's kind of blessed. And you know, I'm kind of feeling that little Timmy's right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. Let me just walk over and just...
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy.
Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Your favorite isekai or fantasy manhwa is garbage.
Okay, that's uncalled.
What is an isekai? Isekai is Japanese for different worlds. It's a popular subgenre for anime, manga, manhwa, light novels, you name it. It features a protagonist getting transported either through reincarnation, portal, whatever, to another magical world. The subgenre is good, don't get me wrong. It flips the script by putting it in the reader's shoes, putting them in a situation of, what if I was transported to a different world and what would I do? The genre is so good, we got too many titles to even try to fit on the Mount Rushmore of isekais. Think about it. Sword Art Online, Jobless Reincarnation, Reincarnated as a Slime, Eminent Shadow, Konosuba, ReZero, the Bible. Yes, by the guidelines, the Bible is considered an isekai, and Jesus is just another overpowered MC that everybody underestimated till later in the story, only to get low diff by Pontius Pilate and his people. Agenda posting has officially fried my last brain cell. Like every popular thing that gains recognition and create a boom in the genre, the great sloppening happens, where every author under the sun thinks, no, my rendition is better. Just like when AAA companies are feeding you nothing but endless Souls-like just because you liked Elden Ring once. A myriad of isekais that nobody asked for spawning to this day. It hit the manhwa scene like regressor manhwas. They're everywhere. Series like Surviving the Game as a Barbarian, the greatest estate developer, one-star character becomes the strongest, and much, much more. Let's talk about the events pre-isekai. Isekais are kind of like the loser fantasy. Life is ass and it hates you. Always has to be an MC dealt with the worst hand humanly possible. The world spits in the MC's food, ugly, antisocial, bullied, bald, and broke. They just want to spam the underdog trope. Alright, now riddle me this. The series is about magic, creatures, fantasy worlds, but the only means of transportation between worlds is the most unceremonious device possible. Death. Death is the gateway, and Truckhoon has BAM numbers, claiming body after body, sending these people to a higher plane of existence. It's always the main character, you know, doing one good act of heroism even though life is against them. And the best way to reward them is with death, or be the other people who just woke up in that world. Next is the fantasy world portion. The isekai formula has been solved. You're either putting your main character through a fairy tale adventure, sunshine and bubblegum, or through fear and hunger, advanced suffering. Authors think they're slick, starting the series off with a Care Bear opening, only to scream death in your face in the same episode, killing everybody, thinking they pump faked you, as if the title of the series isn't named. How I Got Sent in the World of Pain and Suffering, Abyss, by the Demon King, only to be in pain and sorrow and left alone with my loathsome self, or something like that. Titles really be explaining the whole plot before you can start the first chapter or the episode. I really want to know who started this whole thing about who has the longest title. Pause. Now we gotta talk about the Demon King plot is too good to be patched. Usually the main character is either a student or an overworked salaryman being sent out to a different world to face off against the Demon King. What makes people think that people from our world can solve their problems as if we're not dealing with our own Demon Kings? In a world full of demons, monsters, weapons, spells, and gods, and somehow, someway, Norman Normal has this ability that no one has any history or knowledge of, and it's somehow the strongest ability in the verse. Don't get me started on the most spammed plot device used in these series. Plot progression is moving slow, need something to up the pacing, something to help you keep track of the progression of the main character. Now let me introduce you to the Final Fantasy XIV menu screens. See, I almost got mad because it's almost everywhere in every single isekai or fantasy type series. They ain't never gonna let that down. And here you go saying, but this series is different. It circumvents expectations. And I would say, no. Any other plot is just illusion of free choice. Amongst the many MCs, they always start with the supposedly worst ability. It seems like whenever they get transported, the god just looks at the bottom of the barrel and be like, here you go, damn. Type ability, only to find out it's probably one of the strongest abilities in the verse. And then we have to go through several humiliation rituals of characters being like, this guy's a fluke, where the only time the main character faces adversity is usually during the first two couple episodes, only to later just wipe whole mountains or continents with said worst ability. And then we have the logical thinker, a personal favorite of mine. Walk with me. Imagine you get summoned to a different world away from your regular mundane life, and you run into these people yapping about a ritual and being something about a chosen one or some nonsense, and then having to fight the demon king and his army, and you're gonna have to look them in their eyes and just be like, yeah, I'll pass. I'll go live a regular life, grow some crops, build a farm. I'll pass. This is what we live for in an MC. Common sense. They don't have the shonen brainworm where they want to be the strongest or defeat the evil. They get asked a tall order and say, nope, I ain't about that life, and go about their day in a new world with their earth knowledge and trying to adapt it and live as peacefully as possible. And somehow, some way, the author will try to loop this plotline back to the basic isekai method with a strong, mundane ability. You put in all your stats on farming, suddenly all your tools are able to level whole countries. I won't lie, we barely scratched the surface when it comes to talking about these played out fantasy tropes in the series. Harems, MC transported in a book or a game, reincarnation, weird isekais that you shouldn't be sharing with your coworkers, and much, much more. I generally think that the isekai / fantasy genre is suffering from success. It did so well where most of these authors or creators aren't really trying hard enough. The formula is just so good, you just can't get rid of it, because no matter what, somebody else will read it, me included. But it kind of solidified itself as the lowest hanging fruit when it comes to this type of media, and I just do wish to just see something different. I just want something that really wins that attention when I first read my first isekai and got me going. Where is that series? I need that. And if you have that, send that my way and tell me, what do you think is one of the most overrated isekais, or something that people really like but you don't? And put that in the comments and let me know. Be sure to subscribe. Y'all stay easy, stay rested.